first job we've been tackled with of the episode is to replace these taps. The elderly client is finding them hard to turn on and off, especially the hold. The hold. Yeah, so we're going to replace them out, and she's opted for the Bristol ones. Just quarter turn, nice and easy. So a nice easy job to start off the episode with. And little win down here, we've got some isolation valves. However, they are crossed over, so I need to remember that. So the hot and cold the wrong way around. Someone's actually put some ID tape on it, so we know which is which. Just check they are off, which they are. I'll undo the two flexes off. Make sure you clean underneath the base of the tap, because sometimes you can see it. When you put your new ones on, it makes it hard work cleaning up round. Brass nuts. I love a bit of brass. Nice roller washer underneath there. Drop that in. And we've got the rubber and brass nut for underneath. And using the box spanner, we're just going to tighten these up. I'm going to need two hands though, because that one's deciding to spin. Washer looks alright, so we'll just tighten that straight onto the bottom of the tap. And just give it a little nip with the adjustable spanner. Dry it off with a tissue before turning it back on. Check for leaks and check for operation. As easy as that. One on, two on. The water pressure in this house is absolutely shocking. It should be nice and easy for the customer though. 10-year warranty as well, apparently. They only just reach inside the bowl though, don't they? That's quite close, that. Oh well. That's what she wanted. Let's get on to the next one. Ignition lockout, eh? Not doing anything at the minute. So I don't think it's sparking. So what I'm going to do is pull off that, connect this little light on, and try it again. No, it's not sparking at all. So using the TPI 285 clamp on meter, we're going to go across live to earth. Obviously the power's off at the minute. If I can get these to stay in. To check, we've got power going to the spark generator. 1 volts AC. Now we need a demand. Now you have to be incredibly careful when live testing. There we go, 240 volts. So we're getting 240 volts to that there. Let's just shut it back off. So that means we're getting 240 to that spark generator there. Yeah, it's not sparking. So that tells me it's either going to be this lead, which I doubt it, or the spark generator. So you've got a Phillips screw here. Line that off and out to keep that safe. Another one here with the earth connection on. And here's a second-hand unit I've got in the van. Just double check the part numbers are the same as they are. Remove the HT lead off the last one, put it on the new one, and we're going to refit that in reverse order. And this will temporarily get the customer heating and hot water running again. Where did that soldering screw go? Took longer to find the screw than it has to do this complete job. Plug the HT lead back in, plug your power supply back in. I've not tightened up that bottom screw. And with a bit of luck, she should be up and running again. Right. There we go. Beautiful. So, just show you what this would act like had the spark generator been working. There you go. So basically we fixed this with that little part there, which is off eBay, spark plug tester. They're only a few pounds, and a TPI multimeter and a little bit of knowledge. This could be one happy customer. And finally, last little job of the episode is removal of this Ariston tank. Ariston tank. It's basically just this tiny unvented cylinder, but it keeps blowing off outside, and this is the third one they've had apparently. Don't know. I've never installed them, but I can't see no expansion vessel, pressure reducing valve, check valve, anything like that on this, so I don't think it's been fitted right. There's definitely no expansion vessel behind that box. My main concern is getting the water out of it. So we'll get this water main shut off and see if it will empty itself out, because it's kind of upside down the way it is. No. Right, let's take this box off, see what's underneath it. Oh, they put the box on and then the pipes. Maybe it'll drain out the PRV. Sounds like it. That's coming out of the cold though, so that's not exactly what I wanted. Yeah, there's PRV going out the wall. That's our cold mains up to it, which we're just going to cap off somewhere because I'm not taking off all this boxing that we just had it put on, and the white panel we just took off has got to go back on anyway. Let's allow that to empty because that bucket is going to be heavy. Well, it stopped running. Don't feel as heavy now. Just disconnect the live neutral from that and put that back, and then that's safely isolated. We'll start disconnecting the feeds and hopefully it'll lift off. Beautiful. This has been grip filled on. It's coming. Ugh. Minging. This one wants capping off. That's all it needs. So that's our cold feed cleaned off, ready for a press fit cap end. That's our PRV that I'm going to take out from outside and then refill. We're getting the outside rendered, so it just needs filling up for now with a bit of cement in a silicone tube. I'm going to just take off the hot here, and this tap, this hot tap, is going to be redundant. I said we could tee it into the cold, and he's like, what's the point in having two cold taps? So just leave it aesthetically looking correct, but it's going to have no pipe to it, which is fine. Cold feed capped. So I could take it right the way out, but I'm not doing that. I know it's a dead leg. Should have capped it off lower down really, shouldn't I? Oh well, never mind. Shut that off. That doesn't need shutting off, but we'll do it anyway. We'll open up the water main. Main game. Stay there. That is disgusting, that colour. It's going clear now. It's only a garage this anyway. Delicious. That's the inside bit done. Now you can see why I said it was going to get rendered. That's where it was overflowing out, and this is what the customer made. Like a water diversion. It's beautiful around here. I'd love some land like this. Hot tub. Belting. Right, let's try and get this blow off out. I did knock it from outside in, so from inside out, sorry, so it should come out pretty handy. It's coming. I'm going to use a bit of this express cement in a silicone tube. It is beige, this one, but it doesn't matter, like I said, because it's getting rendered anyway. It's just to stop any creepy crawlies and that coming in. Still, I think it's going to fill the cavity. That'll do. And that'll be it. Job done. Nice, easy, half an hour, 40-minute job to round off this episode. How many of you took the bait and thought I'd left that huge dead leg in? No. Let's hope no one commented giving me a load of crap. You can't leave a dead leg there. No, I didn't, mate. I capped it off down there, which is just off a tee up to that. And I left the earth bonding strap on as well. Happy days. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done already. And I will see you on the next one. Tuesday night, 6 PM, weekly. The fuck's this not turning off?